Yo, what is going on, everybody? You are now tuned into the number one greatest music podcast in the world, where we tap into the culture and talk about anything and everything music related. Today, I'm here with RJ of Black Market A&R, and today we're going to be talking about why it's important for artists to be investing into themselves and using their own image as a brand. RJ, you're familiar with working with artists and just collaborating in the industry. So, could you kind of talk about why it is what it means first off to for artists to invest into themselves and why you think it's important?
It's simple. Artists, you have to move as a business. So you have to invest into yourself to be able to create revenue.
Right.
So that means like merch, for example, or studio time, for example, or even buying beats. Um, Buying beats like getting a lease agreements, exclusive rights. It costs money. Like if you want to have good production, good sounding tracks, um, ownerships in your songs, you have to
Right.
invest into yourself. As far as music, as far as like marketing, branding, you want to get merch. It's a great way to brand. Get you about $300. Could buy you maybe 100 T-shirts or something like that,
Right.
or take you $500 and get you about 100 T-shirts pressed up and go sell them online or out the trunk. Pull up, do like a little surprise pop-up shop and sell the merch. Another way to invest in yourself is like this. You take that merch and you take the songs that you have. On the merch, you get the QR codes and put it on the merch.
Mm.
And then the people can download, basically go to your links from the QR code that's on your merch. Go to your website to where they can download your music or buy other merch that you have to offer. You know what I mean?
That's smart. That's dope.
So that's a couple ways. Also investing into your advertising. Like everything, like I say, you can control your narrative as an artist. So you have your merch and your songs and you have social media platforms. You can run ads on your social media platforms.
Right.
Direct the links back to your merch or your music. But you have to invest into that. It's going to cost money. If you want to make money, it costs money to make money. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't just expect to have good quality anything without investing into yourself or your music,
Exactly.
because you are the business and you selling a product, which is the music.
Exactly. I think it's important for artists to know like the artistry part of it is in the music, but that music is the music business at the same time. You know what I mean? Like the
Exactly.
art's important, but the music business parts of it is just as important. You know what I mean?
10% talent, 9% business.
That's
Like-
crazy. Yeah. Like
That's true. Like
yeah. And do you think like when it comes to artists like who are creative and like have a good vision, whenever they get robbed by their labels, like do you think it's important for artists to go more independent with their talents, or like do you think they could kind of maneuver their way around a label in their benefit?
it depends on the artist
Right.
and the artist team. Because some artists, that let me say this: all labels and deals aren't bad if you know what you're doing.
Right.
If you're an artist and you are equipped with the right team, or you smart as shit and you understand contracts and business, it's not really an issue to go to label and take a deal. Because I mean, everything's negotiable. Nothing is set in stone.
Right.
Everything's negotiable. It's a business. You know what I mean? So you can take that deal and use that deal to fund your first project properly, to be able to get to the mainstream and gain the fans. You know what I mean? So your next project you do, you can dare say fuck the label and use that money that you made off the first project from the label to invest into your second project,
next project,
independently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or use that bread to boost your fame up. So for your second project,
You build the hype up.
exactly.
Yeah, I think that reminds me of something that Frank Ocean actually did. Like, cause he was actually signed to Def Jam, and he dropped like his first album, Channel Orange, and then like 4 years later, his label wouldn't let him drop. So then he
Right.
dropped Endless exclusively on Apple Music, it's like this 2 hour long like video, like these got like a music video of these guys building a chair, but that songs were like old songs. So then he only needed one more album under the label, so he dropped that 2 hour like music video, got like $10 million out the contract, and left and dropped another album independently. So like, it's genius.
Yeah, he finessed their ass.
So,
But it just all depends on who you are, who your team is. Because some people, bro, it's like I said, it's not bad. But if you go independently, you just gotta know it's gonna cost some money, and a lot of money sometimes if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Or know any part of the business. You're gonna spend a lot of money trying to find the help, and you're gonna get burnt a lot of times if you don't have any relationships within the business. I don't care if it's local wise, major wise. It doesn't matter. If you don't have any relationships in the industry or in the business, you're gonna spend a lot of money. You're gonna take a lot of L's. But shit.
But that's exactly where branding comes in. Like, I was just about to ask you, like, when you're independent, how can you get that exposure? Literally, like, well, not more so exposure, because you can always have good music, but it's important, to utilize, make room for the resources that you don't have with the label. You know what I'm saying? Like, being independent in itself that's all you. So you got to make something happen. So using your brand, like you said, as an image, and just making sure you're doing pop-up shows, making sure you're going city to city, just making sure you are known itself is helping you. Like, and I feel like even like with artists that start out, like, they may not make as much money as they expected being independent versus a label. Like,
right.
It's important to build. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, business is a process.
Some artists on labels still be broke because the business is fucked up. They allow it to be fucked up as far as the contract's been structured. But
or artists probably just don't even they probably don't read something. Shit. Yeah,
they see the bread they're getting, and they say fuck it. Or sometimes they see the bread they not getting, and they just want the fame. Right. And they like, fuck it, I'm being this fucked up deal, but I'm look like I'm rich as hell. Like, getting all the big features and shit, but I'm broke. Whatever the case may be. But if you are dope, or if you got if you independently making music, people gotta know that you're making this music. So independently, you have to get out there, grind, let people know that you're an artist and you have merch or you have songs out there, or videos. This is the thing about artists that I don't understand. If no one knows you exist, you can't expect to get all these views and streams on your content and music because no one knows who you are.
Right.
So if you don't put yourself out there by investing in yourself, no one will know who you are.
And it's
simple as that.
It's weird with artists too, because I get your point. Like, there are some artists that are actually legitimately good. Like, they might have like a couple songs on YouTube or maybe one song on like SoundCloud, and I'm like, yo, this is popping. Where's it out on Spotify? Where's it out on Apple Music? That's my instinct goes to, because those are the most popular streaming services. So it confuses me when artists don't distribute it that way. I feel like distribution is still one of those things that artists don't really get. I was in Chicago for Lollapalooza like last year, and there was a guy who's a rapper, but he was out selling CDs. I'm like, bro, it's about to be 2023. Like, you need to live in the digital world. You know what I'm saying? So I think, with distributing, I think that's important too. Like, wouldn't you agree? Yeah,
it's important, but a sad thing about it, a lot of artists still don't know how to get their music on these platforms. When the internet is out there. But still, to this day, people don't know how to get their music on these platforms, these streaming platforms.
Is it a hard thing? Really? Or
no, it's not hard. Anybody can do it. Literally, anybody can do it. So, if you're an artist and you're not doing that,
you're missing out.
Contact me, and I can help you get set up.
No, literally, contact him. If you're this is Music Overload. We talk about music, but we're giving you the business side. This is culture. But the business is culture. Making sure you maneuver around the game and make sure that you know what you're doing and making sure that you are set is important.
Very important.
Tap into black market. Literally tap into black market if you need any financial advice, any kind of support, any kind of marketing tips. Making sure that you as an artist is not struggling, but succeeding and making sure that whether you're independent or signed to a label, you know what you're doing and you make sure you head to the top.
Yeah, you just it's important to get an understanding of
Like and
how.
educate yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's very important. Just to have an understanding. If artists mess up at this right here, they they don't understand how music works in the music business work.
right.
So that's where a lot of L's come in at, just simply not understanding how the music business work and thinking they do when they never ever encounter any music business.
Mhm.
Just understanding, like that's it.
Some people aren't even like, I mean, because some people just rap. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's not one of those things like people just don't know. Like some people are young when they sign contracts too. At that, you know. So I feel like some artists learn the hard way as well. It sucks, but I want to kind of move off from that because I mean, educate yourself. I'm gonna leave it at that because I do want to get into talking about artists, like kind of going back to the distribution of their music conversation. I want to talk about how it's important for artists to be featured on on the streaming, on Rap Caviar on Spotify, or on those exclusive playlists that are exclusive to Apple Music, to Tidal. Like, can you kind of talk about how artists are able to get on those kinds of playlists and why it's important to put yourself out there like that?
Yeah, so playlisting is very important for artists. If you want to get your music heard um, across the country, different states, different countries, playlisting is one of the best ways to do so. And by contacting like curators, you can contact them. There's a lot of curators out there.
Right.
Some charge a fee, some you can probably submit for free, but for the most part, they all kind of charge a fee.
Mm-hmm.
But they are basically help you grow your music, your
Right.
single.
And these curators, they can be found exclusively on like each service. Like they have Spotify curators, or like where can you find these people? How can you reach out?
You can find them online anywhere, really. But for
Mhm.
sure, they got some that's specifically for like Spotify. They have an editorial playlist you can submit your songs to.
Really?
Yeah, but you got to do it. You know, that's too much game I'm giving. But listen, but I mean, you know,
It is
the internet for sure can help you find out how to submit your songs to these
Right.
playlists. But it's very important,
okay.
you know, and you can contact us for that too. Also, it's a company that I'm
Yeah, if you want to learn that, tap in the black market.
it's a company that I recently started working with. They reached out to us. It's called they are called Music Bag Academy.
Mm.
They help also with the playlisting. And I'm gonna be working with them.
Okay.
Moving
Music
forward.
Bag Academy.
Yeah, Music Bag Academy.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they're a new company, but they have like 10 years in the music industry.
Oh, and you're saying that they like help artists with that curation.
Yeah, they're curators, and they also like recruit curators as well.
Oh.
Yeah, and blogs too. Like I'm gonna set you up with them so you can like submit to their network and
Okay.
just kind of link
That's
with
dope.
other like artists and stuff like that.
I think that's underrated. Like blog sites and like you said, curators. Like I feel like it's like an agency, like hip hop agency to help out artists. Like I feel like those are mad slept on. I feel like right now podcasts are kind of doing that, just kind of helping artists out. But with curators and stuff like that, why do you think artists aren't, or really anybody in the music business is really talking about that?
Artists ain't not really gonna talk about it because they don't.
They're not even knowing. They don't.
Like, it's crazy that in music, the artists don't know too much of nothing at all. But a lot of times, the managers or like the labels, they know about that. They know that it's important for that, so they're tying their artists into the submitting them or doing business with the curators to get their artists songs more exposure. You know what I mean? But it's slept on for real. It shouldn't be. A lot of artists have their music on Spotify, so these playlists can help you. Like I said, your song get more exposure. So it would be smart for artists to link in with a bunch of different curators to help get their songs to reach more people across the
Right.
world, basically. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's slept on, but it's important.
Yeah, like it's one of those. Is that piece of information that you kind of have to just kind of go out and research and find for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's out there. You just gotta look for it. I've even learned that on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really follow a lot of meme pages anymore. I follow a lot of just investing financial advisors or just rappers who give motivational advice, because it's like I kind of want that information. Like that information isn't always out there. I feel like not everyone's looking at that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Really, the best thing for artists to do if they like need help and information, direction, and guidance is to reach out to me. You know, so reach out to Black Market A&R on
Absolutely.
Instagram. You can find us at Black Market A&R
Mm-hmm.
or at Black Market AR on Instagram. Follow us, DM us. Also, you know, follow Music Overload.
For sure.
We for sure in cahoots. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're here trying to help the music culture as well as bring light and exposure to artists as well.
Right. It really is all about like building a community and just making sure that we all build up and, you know, we all expand. You know what I'm saying? Elevation equals expansion. I did want to talk about you know, being affiliated with Black Market A&R and just kind of what made you want to be a part of something, not only just to be a part of the culture, but also just to give people this information, because like you said, it's very limited. So what made you want to be one of those like very few people that are actually out here willing to help
Like
others?
music advocates or something.
Yeah,
like
like
that.
what made you want to do that?
Really, I was tired of getting tired of seeing artists getting fucked over
Mm-hmm.
in the music industry,
Yeah.
just because they don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But
Who did you see like
just artist spirit, like just in Dallas, like
Mm-hmm.
deep element, going to shows, being a part of shows, just in the entertainment period, peers that I know, some of my friends, you know what I'm saying, are artists or songwriters, just me being involved and seeing it from my own eyes,
Right.
made me want to like, all right, let me step up. Somebody needs to step up, because like we all can't keep just getting, you know what I'm saying, screwed over.
Mm-hmm.
So let me step up and let me, you know, let
Right.
me represent.
That's dope. Like,
Represent us basically.
how did you learn about the music business?
So, bro, I've been in the mix of the music business for a minute. Like as far as like contracts, one of my closest friends that I grew up with, she's actually an entertainment lawyer.
Mm.
So she's been like, before she passed the bar, she was writing like music contracts for me like back then. So I always kind of had like a legal team exclusively
Right.
to myself.
That's
So
crazy.
like I said, I've been in the mix of like contractual agreements as far as like music
So
goes.
you kind of got that like inside information like early on.
Yeah, and I'm very smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like research is what like one of my main skills, bro. So it's like I don't believe in like obstacles. So
Mm-hmm.
or if I need to find out some information, I'm gonna go look for it, like right then and there, and I'll find it. Give me like a few hours, the most, give maybe 2 days. I'm gonna figure that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it
Yeah.
out. Then I'm gonna call my friend, a lawyer, and then we gonna have a discussion.
Right.
And I'm gonna say, look, hey, this is what I found. This is what I need to do, and she gonna write the contract exactly how it need to be wrote.
Yeah, it's
and then
not.
she gonna review the contract and give me an insight of, hey, that's not a good contract, or hey, you need to reconstruct this. You know what I mean? Like so.
Mhm. Yeah, like it's like you're not one of those people that want to be complacent or kind of just like, oh, this is just the way it is. I gotta accept it. Like it's important to ask questions and be like, why is this that way? There's no reason for it to be like this. This can change. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Like that's dope.
So I have some experience basically with the
Mhm. How long would you say like you've been doing
the mix?
this?
Just
Yeah,
like 10 years.
over a decade. That's crazy.
Just like 10 years for 10 years. Just me being like in the mix, being interested and like been passionate about this for like 10 years plus for sure. Like you learn the game never ends.
Mm-hmm.
You learn every day. You learn something new every day. Like it ain't no rules, and it's a marathon. So every day, like you can learn some new. Every year, it's some new type of way or play or platform how to get money or get exposure for your artist or your brand.
Mm-hmm. Education is limitless. Like there's money to be made everywhere. There's something new to learn every single day, and yeah, I feel like it's important to just not limit yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we, as creatives, like have unlimited potential. You know what I mean? I want to kind of like before we switch off the topic, because I do want to kind of talk about a lot of hip hop stuff because me and you are both like hip hop connoisseurs. We kind of know the game a little bit. So before we get off of that, I would do want to ask you: is there any kind of like advice that you want to give to young entrepreneurs or people that are kind of just really just tapped in and want to pursue something big, whether that be in the industry and music and the culture? Just anything that's outside of the traditional methods of college or getting a job and working this amount of time, like just being independent. What advice can you give for those people?
So it doesn't matter what you do. You can go to college or don't go to college. The main thing is to have a plan and know how to utilize your resources.
Mm-hmm.
Know how to line up your resources and create your team based off your resources and create roles in your head, in your back office of what your resources roles are to you. Mm-hmm. Utilize those resources of yours and run plays and educate yourself. And the very most important thing that I can tell anybody, just do the shit. Just do it. Because you'll never know if you don't do the shit. Just do the shit. Whatever your ideal is, do some research, take some time out, do some research, figure out how to do it, and just do the shit. Simple as that. Like, that's the best advice I can give anybody. Utilize your resource by creating your team within your resources. Create your play and your plan and do that shit.
With that said, appreciate y'all so much for tuning in to Music Overload. Definitely tune in to Black Market A&R. All of the socials will be in the description below. Tune in to more Music Overload podcast episodes coming soon with very, very special guests like RJ himself of Black Market, giving financial advice to artists, people starting businesses, people just making a name for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what really Music Overload is all about. We're going to bring all these people on this platform. We're going to promote the culture and just build something out of this. So with that being said, thank y'all so much for the love, support that y'all been showing for Music Overload. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode.